What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to How to Win Reevaluation for the $10,000 EIDL Targeted Advance. It is Wednesday. Happy hump day to you. April the 28th, 2021. Please do me. Did you ever give this video a thumbs up? Hashtag EIDL with your comments below. My goodness. If you're not seeing what's going on Twitter, you got to. At TrySmallBiz, that's at TrySmallBiz. Username, SmallBiz Inc., where we've gone from just over 100 followers to almost 5,000 in less than a month since we changed our name. Ladies and gentlemen, I am getting massive amounts of information. Some of it I'm going to share with you today, not only on how to win reevaluation in less than an hour, but when are we going to see these two new blue buttons with respect to 24 months of working capital, the auto approval, and the fund now, where it literally says, we're going to wire you some money in this amount. So pull up a chair, ladies and gentlemen, grab yourself a cup of coffee, ice cold beer, glass of wine. Here we go. All right, I'm going to start off by addressing a few reporters that are tuning in today, two of them for the first time. And they asked me, tone it down. We see you screaming. We want to show this video to our boss. So I'm going to spend a minute or two telling them what they need to know. And then I'm going to get into what I learned about these two new buttons and when you can expect your 24 months or even in some cases 48 months of working capital. And then what does it say word for word on how this guy won reevaluation in less than an hour? So look, to the reporters, and let's just set the record straight. I'm a small business owner. I'm just like everybody watching me right now. I applied for an EIDL loan and a grant on April 1st of last year. They pulled my credit and gave me $1,000 per employee. Fuck you, Javita Carranza. Yeah, your boss is going to have to hear that. On April the 22nd, they funded me $1,000 per employee. On May the 26th, On May the 26th, I got a loan. And from the minute I signed my loan docs, it was 3 days later that the money showed up in my account. But as I got to know this channel and the folks that are on it, and I fell in love with their efforts, their scratching, their clawing, their love, their passion of small business, I said, I got to give all I got. And I was willing to live in a van down by the river and eat ramen noodles 10 for $1, because if you spike it with a bag of frozen peas and a can of tuna, it's an excellent $2.55 meal. So as a single man who's not married, who doesn't have children, I'm willing to roll the dice and risk it all to get everybody who's watching 10 grand or the balance thereof, regardless of where you live, credit score, or size. I want the loan caps back to $2 million officially. 24 months of working capital without any games. And yes, Big Ben Cardin and I are going to work hand in glove next year so that you don't pay the SBA a single fucking dime with respect to the EIDL and this so-called pandemic. But, to your bosses in the media, I'm fully aware that most of the fake news leans really far to the left. All of social media, Mark Zuckerberg, Google, all the way to the left. The current administration, way over to the left. So other than Newsmax and Fox News, it's almost zero chance that somebody like Don Lemon, is it Don Lemon or Lemon? Don Lemon at CNN is going to run a story talking about how 83% of you are not getting the supplemental targeted EIDL advance, and 63% or thereabouts, based on two polls, over 8,000 polled in total, got shut out of the targeted EIDL advance last week when you hit that infamous blue button to request more funds. So I realize I'm getting a little loud. Let me just summarize it. This is all public information to the reporters who are watching. James Rivera, last summer, July and August, in a Senate hearing, said, as of then, 9 million small business owners, side hustlers, sole proprietors applied for an EIDL loan and a grant. 5.7 million got $1,000 per employee in terms of the grant. 3.7 million got an average size loan of $65,000, totaling slightly over $200 billion. And as Patrick over at Newsy, who is one of the three that's watching me right now, pointed out, a few weeks ago, the SBA is sitting on a gigantic pile of $271.6 billion at the time of unspent cash. So here we are fighting for the last 12 months to get $15 billion so I can get everybody watching me, regardless of low, middle, or high, the $10,000 they were promised in the CARES Act. They can't move over 15 of $271 billion. Somebody needs to get to the bottom of that. But the facts are the facts. If 9 million applied, and 5.7 million got $1,000 per employee, Under the new rules of the American Rescue Plan, Section 331 that says you got to be in a low-income community, you got to suffer a 30% economic loss, and you got to have fewer than 300 employees. If you go by what the SBA is not telling you, the vast majority, 63%, again, based on 2 polls I've done this week, got declined. The targeted EIDL advance. So whether they are in middle or high income or actually low income, as per the guy that I'm going to share that won reevaluation in 45 minutes, the point is this. Last Thursday and Friday, when we all logged into our SBA portal and we hit that blue button to request more funds by way of the 24 months of working capital, within 3 or 4 hours in most cases, everybody, including me, was automatically declined without warning, without email, without notification, which is a violation of the American Rescue Plan. It specifically states in writing, you're supposed to get your money within 21 days, and if you're declined within 21 days, you're supposed to get an explanation as to why. Well, I didn't get any. And the vast majority of people, when we've polled them repeatedly, didn't get anything either. And if you don't believe the numbers, just read the comments. It's hundreds, probably at this point, thousands of people that said, I just woke up one day, Friday morning, and it was gone. I was approved, and then suddenly I was declined. So explain to me how people go from approved to declined when they hit the request more funds button. Is it because the SBA has suddenly have a new rule where, hey, if we're going to give you 2, 3, 4, 5 times what we gave you last year in a loan, we're just going to wipe out your grant altogether? Is that what's going on? I don't know, reporters. Why don't you dig a little deeper? But again, the facts are the facts. 9 million applied. 5.7 million got 1,000 per employee. A few million didn't get anything because they applied between July and December 27 when they ran out of money. So if you just do the math, based on this ridiculous $5,000 supplemental grant that they're bragging about over at the SBA, they said 1 million businesses are going to get $5,000. Okay. Well, if 9 million applied and only 1 million are going to get the supplemental because they're in low income and they were cut in half with a 50% economic loss, fewer than 10 employees, that means 88% of my friends, my neighbors, my small business owners that are watching me right now, and millions more around the country, got not a fucking dime. So whether you go by 63% on the $10,000 targeted EIDL advance, which was automatically declined without warning last week when we hit that button, or the SBA's own announcement that they're going to give $1 million out of $9 million, the $5,000 supplemental, somewhere between 63 and 88% are not getting anything. And is that what the CARES Act promised us? No. It was supposed to be 10 grand within 72 hours. But we all know what happened when Carranza rationed the grant and capped the loan. So I've been fighting nonstop for the last year, and I will fight for another fucking year if I have to get 10 grand, regardless of size, location, or credit score. I want the caps back at $2 million, 24 months without any bullshit whatsoever. And yes, I do want the EIDL loan, probably based on economic loss, forgiven, so that my friends that are watching me right now don't pay the SBA a dime. Now, one thing that I just said is a lie. It's all true. The question is, are you guys and gals brave enough to buck the system? Because as I said, the swamp is protecting the swamp. The hardcore leaning left, social media, the fake news, and the current administration, they're all on the same page. And for some reporter to come out and say, it looks like the new administrator appointed by President Biden, I mean, there's a real quagmire here where 60 some odd percent to 80% plus are not getting anything with respect to the targeted EIDL or the supplemental. So there you go. If you need more information, you know where to find me. Moving right along, ladies and gentlemen, as fast as I can. Boy, it's hot in here. My air system's not working that well. They're coming out again tomorrow, but I had Freon put in the other day, and it's 77 degrees in here. It should be 72. All right. I heard an hour and a half ago, and again, Max just did a video. Maybe his source is telling you something different. But I'm hearing from 2 senior loan officers at the SBA. Here's the following with respect to 24 months of working capital. We all sent that email in, right, a few weeks ago. And then last week, they said, go on into the portal and hit that button. And by the way, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and this is in writing from the SBA on the newsroom. If you do not see a blue button inside your portal, as of right now, they don't think you're due any more loan money. So I know you can get mad at me if you want to, but let me repeat that one more time. For those of you that are saying, I don't see a blue button in my portal, The SBA has clearly said on the newsroom, if you can't see it, it's because they believe that you already got all the loan money. I'm not talking about the grant. I'm talking about the loan money that you're entitled to. However, there is going to be a reevaluation of this 24 months of capital. Yes, it's going to mean that you're going to have to fight with the SBA for the next 2 or 3 months. I'll work with each and every one of you as long as I have to. But if you don't see the button, it's because they believe they already gave you all you were entitled to, which last year was 6 months of working capital. Some of you that were given outrageous loan offers last week of up to 7 times, it's because you ended up getting far less than you should have based on what you told the SBA as per your 4506T and or your tax returns, or when you filled out the application in the first place. So I do expect there's going to be some clawbacks. Some of you that are getting 6 and 7 times, do not be surprised if they look at your 4506T and your taxes and they go, it looks like you were a little aggressive on your revenue estimates, Jason. We need to claw that back a little bit. But again, if they screw you over, there's going to be a reevaluation coming. Just like there was for the target advance, there'll be a reevaluation for the supplemental. Everything's going to get fucking reevaluated for the rest of the year. We're in this together, folks, for the next 6 months, whether you like it or not. That's just the way it is with the federal government / SBA. So here's the deal. The sources are telling me, 2 loan officers, both been there north of 15 years. 14 days approximately, they're expecting to get your 4506T back from the IRS. For 90% of you, it's not a problem. For some of you that are screaming and hollering on Twitter, what about a stamped copy? Well, you're probably going to be in the 20% that's not going to be automatically approved until you send in a copy of the stamped version. And as I said on Twitter about an hour ago, there's a new procedure as of April 22nd, just a few days ago, in writing by the SBA and Ms. Guzman, that if the IRS is unable to provide your 4506T within 10 days, the SBA is instructing through the end of June 2021 that the SBA lenders, which includes PPP and EIDL, are supposed to fund you anyway. But we have people that are in reconsideration, like I also said, for months. And the loan officer is telling the applicant, well, we're waiting on your 4506T. So look on my Twitter page, go into the SBA newsroom, pull up SBA EIDL procedural or something to that effect. And it clearly states, as of a few days ago, if they can't get it to the SBA within 10 days, they're supposed to fund you anyway. So I have that pinned somewhere on Twitter. I will put it up again on YouTube. Don't let the loan officer tell you beyond 10 days, because if they can't come up with it for whatever reason, you are entitled to get your loan funded, whether it's EIDL or PPP, and that's a fact. So 14 days from when you hit the blue button is when they expect the 4506T to come back by the IRS. They're estimating 80% of you, 8 and 10, will get automatic approval. There is 2 new blue buttons coming. I showed you what the Reddit code writers uncovered last week. There is a request funding button, which turns into you've been selected for automatic approval. And then you click a fund now, and it literally says, click this button and we will wire transfer you in the amount of X. So let me summarize that again before I get to how this guy won in 45 minutes or less. I appreciate your patience. From the minute you hit the button, so we're coming up on a week tomorrow, right? It could be another week by the time the SBA gets your 4506T. Then it's a question of how fast does the loan officer go, yep, looks like we gave him the right number. Yep, matches up with 4506T. The minute they hit, submitted, you're going to see request funding button on your SBA portal. First, it was request more funds. Now it's going to turn into request funding. Then it's going to tell you whether or not you've been selected for automatic approval. 80% that have clean tax returns and 4506T will sail right through. For the rest of you, whether it's the SBA, the IRS, or your own fault, or all the above, you're going to have to tap dance for an extra week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't know. But if you're the real deal, you're ultimately going to get funded. I will work, I will scream, I will holler, I will twist arms, as long as I have to, if I haven't proven that already, to make sure everybody gets their money. I'm hoping, most of you anyway, by Memorial Day weekend, which is another 5 weeks away. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, in case you didn't hear me, one more week until we get the button, request funding. It's a question of how quick does the loan officer say, "Yep, match is up," and then you're going to get the fund now button where they wire transfer the money. I'm guessing within 3 or 4 days. All right, quickly here. What do we got? 15 fucking minutes. Going as fast as I can, folks. All right, I'm just going to read to you a guy who, and he's exchanged 50 emails with me. And no, I'm not telling you to email me 50 times, please. I've got people calling me. I've had to block some of you because you call and you text me at 11 o'clock at night. I got to have some form of a life. So please, don't be doing that. Send me an email if you have to during normal business hours, and I'll do what I can. So anyway, this guy has gone back and forth with me for weeks. Last week, he requested more funds. He's in a low-income community. Yes, you got to be in low income or you got to have been approved before you hit the button last week. So if you're in middle to high income and you had no chance last week before you hit the button, this is not for you. So that's worth about 20 thumbs down. If you're in a low-income community or you were in a middle-income community and you got approved and suddenly went to declined, this is for you. He sent an email to Targeted Advance Reevaluation at SBA.gov. So he hits the button last Thursday. He wakes up Friday morning just like me and everybody else watching, 63% anyway, and it suddenly went declined. So he was approved and he went to declined. I was at no answer and went to decline. So this guy went from approved to declined. He sent an email when they declined him last night at around 6 o'clock. He immediately wrote him back after he talked to me, and this is what he said. Again, it's Targeted Advanced Reevaluation at SBA.gov. In the subject line, reevaluation request for his app number. So it's reevaluation request for app number 3334. This is exactly what he said. I don't share personal information. I don't share screenshots. I've never done that. I respect everybody's privacy, whether it's somebody at the SBA, a congressperson, or this guy who, again, went from approved to decline. This is what he wrote. I was wrongfully declined for the targeted advance. I did not receive any email or reason for the decline. I am very confident something is incorrect and I was wrongfully declined. He then says, I am 100% eligible in every way! Exclamation point. I would respectfully like to be considered for the Targeted EIDL Advance Grant Reevaluation. Please find the information for our existing loan below. And he had all of it down, just like we did with the 24 months of capital. His business name, his business address, his app number, his loan number, his name, his phone number, etc. He put then at the bottom, I'm a sole proprietor equaling 1 employee. I am clearly in a low income area. Screenshot attached. He was right in the middle of a purple zone. I had multiple consecutive months with 100% decrease. And that's where it ended. He didn't even say salutations. That was it. So here's the deal. I had more people after I put this screenshot up last night that got approved after being declined last week. So let me summarize, and I'll keep it under 20 minutes. You gotta be in a low income, or you gotta be in a middle income that was approved, and then as soon as you hit the button, you went to decline. Whether it's a glitch, whether it's an intentional screwing you over, I don't know the answer to that yet. The SBA hasn't answered. So in your own words, say something to the effect that he did. He had a purple zone screenshot, which I recommended you guys do. He was sitting right in the middle. If you suffered a 50% economic loss, do not address the purple zone because that's not why they declined you. So if they declined you because of insufficient economic loss, you were in a low-income community or you were in a middle and you were approved, but then you went to decline when you hit the submit request more fund button, you send in the screenshot and you say, as you can see in months April and May or whatever it was, I dropped 50%, 70% from 2019 to 2020. And 45 minutes later, and I shared this screenshot both on YouTube and Twitter. Where the hell is it? All right. It just says, we received and upon further evaluation, we agree that you should be approved. So look, ladies and gentlemen, I know the ending's a little sloppy. I kept you around for 20 minutes. What can I fucking say? Other than there's nobody working harder. There's nobody working smarter. There's nobody raising more hell on YouTube and Twitter and behind the scenes than yours truly. So until next time, always remember, I love you and thanks for watching.